Hey, Scott Austin here, and this video is going to explain to you how to manage or maintain your Shopify store. So, what I'm going to cover here is not how to, manage a Shopify store or the theme, because there's plenty of documentation from Shopify and the theme developer, but it's how I've implemented and customized those things for your particular store. So, this won't be everything you need to know about managing a Shopify store, but it'll be what I've done to customize it. And you might want to take some notes while you're watching this, not about the task and how to do things, but just about where in the video something is. Like, oh, at minute 4, they're talking about blah, blah, blah. And that way you can use that as an index later on to, look things up again and again if you want to. All right, so let's dig into it here. We've got your color scheme, right? And we made you the page, the brand guidelines. So you can't navigate to this, it's not in our navigation, but if you just type in pages, brand guidelines, it shows up. And it shows you the color palette we're using in the store. And you can share this with partners and other vendors and stuff like that. And they can, use the information there. It also talks about, the typography we're using, the fonts that are selected, all that good stuff. And we've got a couple tools in here. So let's talk about the tools. The first one is product photos. And this just shows you all of the product photos for every product. So, product by product. And, if it's green, it means it's the right aspect ratio, which is all good. And if there's multiple photos, it'll show the multiple of them. It'll show you their sizes. So it's a nice quick way to scroll through. You got 800 photos. So it's going to take you a while to scroll through them all, but just see all your product photos and if there's any issues with them. So let's look at the next tool. That's this collection photos. So this does the same thing of for every collection, it shows you what the image is. Now you'll see that there's two columns here, right? Collection featured image and collection image. Let's scroll if you have one that doesn't have both that are the same, and I'll explain it. Oh yeah, here we go. So in this one here, no collection image was defined. So birthday, it's probably not in our new design. It's probably an old collection that you have lying around. But there was no collection image defined. So what it does is the code just pulls what's called the featured image, which is if the collection image doesn't exist, the featured image is the product photo from the first product that's in that collection. And then in both these tools, you can click on the element and it'll open up the Shopify admin right to that page. So let's actually show this one here we were looking at. If you click on the birthday one, it'll open it up right to the page and you can see what products are in it and all that good and the rules behind it. Now this one doesn't have rules. It's a manual collection. But you can see how that all works. So let us go back to the front end. So those are the two tools that are in the brand guidelines in addition to the brand guidelines as a tool. So in our top navigation, we have all these links that basically are going to pages. And I think you understand how those are working. Each one of them has its own template and you can edit the content that's in them. Now, the main place you're going to edit content for the, this side of the things, the front end stuff, is, in addition to, editing the content in a product or in a collection, is by going to online store here, and then this green button, customize, and clicking on that. And this is where you'll spend most of your time editing things, and you know how this all works, but I want to show you how the elements are set up for this particular implementation. So we have these mega menus right at the top level. So when you hover, right, you get this big mega menu. And we might want to put we tried a little bit of a tint, but you got the white backgrounds on the images, so we're not going to do that. That's right. So one thing we might try, just in looking at this, is for a mega menu, you can have a bottom bar. And let's just, make the background of that, a lighter color. Let's just make it this one here. And you can see here's the bottom bar showing up. And now, because I clicked on something. And let's just remove the text. Yeah, that's not bad. So let's try that. Let's see what that looks like on the front end for the home. Yeah, these are just so big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a hard one. Okay, but at least there's a border there, so people can see the difference. They see where it ends. It's a separation from the page. So I like that. Let's do that across all of these. Sorry, you have to watch this. Oh wait, I can pause this recording. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. All right, so I've gone through and updated them all, and here you can see it's got that little pink border at the bottom now. Some of them are farther down because of the height of the page and all that, but you can see that that's a little bit of separation there is nice. We probably hadn't noticed it before because against this, it's not as noticeable, the white on the white. So that'll help things out there. Now, what we're doing is we're looking at in theme customization, so you got a top bar up here, and you know that content all works. You've already got content in there, and you've got the header defined. Let me just make sure you got one thing here, and that is, yeah, we're going wide already. I think we had it set up for a while for standard, and when we did that, it was wrapping already. So let's just refresh that and see. Yeah, it was wrapping. So the way we got rid of that wrapping was to set the header to be wide. And then if we look at your footer down here, we've got a logo obviously, and then just the different menus. So these two menus here, along with your main navigation menu, right? Let's just go into this under pages or navigation right here under online store. And main navigation is the one we're now using. And you can see, let's just get rid of the main menu one because we're not using that anymore. That's old, right? Oh, and I can't delete that because the one main menu and footer, for whatever reason in Shopify, you can't delete them once they've been created, which is kind of silly, but that is the way it is, right? So there's the policies. There's the more high sweetheart, and like I said, the footer, the one named footer, we can't get rid of either. So the three we're using are the three bottom ones, and you can easily add and remove links from there. So now, when you're navigating here, it'll update the items over here. So let's just go on Christmas, for example. And you'll see what happened up here is it now tells us, oh, you're on the page with the Christmas template. So this is one way to tell that each one of these has a different template, right? And another way to do that is if I go to the Christmas page here on the front end, and I lost my edit link. Oh, that's unfortunate. So if I had that edit link that was there a minute ago and go to pages and just go to Christmas, you'll see here that it's got this template assigned to it. So in this new version of the theme, most of the pages have their own unique template assigned to them. So if you're going to create a new page down the road, let's say you're going to do Chinese New Year as an occasion, you'll need to make a Chinese New Year's template, and I have videos that explain how to do that, or you can just have me do it. It's pretty simple to do. But most of your pages, right? If we go back to this theme customization, Thanksgiving. Oh, that's a collection, not a page. Home, right? It has the home template. Lifestyle has the lifestyle template. The same thing with the ones in the footer, like shipping policy is the shipping template. And press is the press template. So you can see there's some, each one has its own template. So when you edit them in theme customization, it only affects the pages that have the same template. And right now, we're usually doing a one-to-one relationship between templates and pages. If I click on this menu, you can actually navigate to a page this way also. And it's kind of cool because you can see here that the Christmas template is applied to one page. So if it was applied to two pages, you're like, ooh, that's not right. Let's figure that out. And you can see, most of these here are applied to one page. There's a couple of old templates like amusement, apparel, and occasions that aren't applied to anything. That's the old taxonomy, the first one we came up with. But that's another way to see what's in use and what's not. All right, so now this element here that we're using in a lot of pages, you'll see it's a section over here called title. So we actually, let's just turn that off for a second and turn on the normal page content, right, which has its own title in it. That's the content from the page, which we're not using anymore. But it has this H1 for the press up here with a horizontal bar. And what we did for your branding is we have a title element instead, which you see over here. This section takes the title of the page, whether it's a page, product, or collection, and displays it on the page as the page's H1, which is an SEO thing. Or you can replace it with the text below. So you can overwrite it. So right now it's taking the page name or title, which is press. But if we wanted to, we could say, press clippings, and press clippings will show up. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to remove that. And you also see here the minimum height on desktop, we've got set to 300, and on mobile it's 400. And there's probably a bit of inconsistency in your store. I think I noticed that before. So that's another thing I'm just going to go through really quickly here. Let's just see if I can find two that, that comes down to about here. And if I go to the about one, it's hard to tell. So I'm going to go through them right now and make sure they're all set to the same height of 300 on desktop and 400 on mobile. And just to show you, if we inspect that on mobile, it just makes it, a little bit taller there. So I'm just going to check those all right now, and I'll be back when I'm done with that. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them that were different heights. So now they're all the same. But the point is, when you're making a new page and you want to have it have this, peach branding element for the title, you use that title section to do it. Now, we don't do that on every single page. Like when we go to a page like this, which is a shopping page, we get rid of that big, thick branding element and keep things simpler and more focused on the content on the page. But we could add a title to this one if we wanted to. But the uber point is that's the title section, and that's what that's for. So now let's go into your apps and show you a couple of those and how they work. So search and discovery, this one is what is showing up here, which is showing the product types, the price, and then more filters, which is your tags, right? And the reason I didn't put tags up higher is because there's so many of them. If we look at, the all collection, you see we even have a lot of these, product types up there. And then tons and tons of filters below also. So, and not that many. There's a lot, but not like 40,000 of them. But we have that document for the taxonomy, and you're managing that now. It's yours, and you've changed the taxonomy or evolved it, to map what you want to. I just caution you to just watch what you're doing. And here's a good way to do it. If you go to this collections all, you type in all after the collections, you can see all your products. And here's a real example. We're using the product type dolls and the product type dolls and stuffed animals. Now, ideally, we'd want those to be the same, but we don't live in a perfect world. So sometimes things are going to be a little off. But here's a good way, to quickly look and see, what's going on with your taxonomy and notice like, oh, it's singular most of the places, but I put it as plural on this one. Or like this one here, we got, Once again, oven mitts and pot holders, right? Those kind of non-consistent things. So you just want to be on the lookout for those things. And one of the reasons we want to do that is so that there's less choices here, right? So if I'm interested in oven mitts right now, I've actually got to click on two things to be confident that I'm seeing, everything there is to see. So that's why you want to limit that. But that is, that's those filters are coming from this app, which we were just looking at here, the Search and Discovery app. So if you ever wonder what that app is for, I have to log in again. Gotta love it. And it works good. But the Search and Discovery, we could add more elements like product filters, and I think I've shown them to you before. And the best presentation you have is just showing product types, price, and the tags. But the tags are also getting pretty, a lot of them, and not exactly always the same, right? Just like there's one here, kids. Well, is it kids jewelry, books, apparel? So you want to be careful. You've got to document for your taxonomy, keep it as updated as you can. Now let's go to a product or a collection. Sorry. So let's go to lifestyle under bath and beauty, and I'm going to edit this collection. This gray bar down here only shows up if you're logged into the Shopify admin, so your customers will never see it. Just you and I will see this. But if I edit this collection, you'll see that bath and beauty, I went through how you were documenting them and what you were using to get things to show up, and I think you did the same thing. And so this definition is any one of these conditions, any condition of these different product types or this tag, right? And any one of those. And then, so that's the bath and beauty, right? If I go to lifestyle, and there's a see all here, right? All lifestyle. So then what I did for these is we edit this collection, you'll see there's a ton more rules because it's got all the rules for all the collections that are under that umbrella. So it's got the rules for bath and beauty and accessories and jewelry and beach living and apparel. So that's a lot of rules. So the important point here is when you go and you want to update the definition for bath and beauty to add, let's say you get a new type of product of beauty products, let's just call it. And so you have a product type of beauty products you want to add on top of bath and self-care, beauty products. You'll go in and edit the definition for the bath and beauty collection to also include anything with the product type of beauty products. But you also have to do that on the all lifestyle collection. So if you're going to update one of the collections, you're going to have to update the parent collection also. Hopefully that makes sense. But that search and discovery app that we're looking at is a great way to, see on the front end, what's going on and what's actually in each of your collections, what tags are there, and what the product types are. So now, and you won't have to manage the search and discovery app too often. Right? You won't be going in there. So the next one, let's look at the linear shopping experiences. You know how this works. It's got the modal that pops up. So let's go into the Pretty, whatever that thing is. I don't know if that's oil or ollie. So on this one here, you added in. You may also like. I hate those things, but if you want them, not a problem at all. There's no right or wrong there. Now, if I hit the Add to Cart button, I get this pop-up. So this pop-up is coming from this Linear Shopping Experiences app, right? And these settings here and this text is what's showing up. You can see here, it doesn't look exactly the way it does in the front end because we have CSS applied here. But it's looking, that's where that's coming from. And let's go into this product right here, edit product. So we're going to open it up in the back end. And we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. And you'll see here, we've got two meta fields, the cross-sell message and the cross-sell. So the cross sell is the destination, where it goes to. So here, this message, do you want to add gift wrapping? That's the same as this message right here. Do you want to add gift wrapping? It's in the meta field. If we clear that out of there, let's just copy it first. Clear it out and save. We're going to get a message here. And the servers might take a while to catch up to us. Oh, there's one item left. It's already in our cart. That's why it's not letting me add it to the cart. So I'm just going to go here, delete this product, go back, add to cart. And now see it where it says, do you want to add additional products? So that comes from the store-wide level settings, which gets overridden by the product level settings in the meta field. So if this is blank, we'll use the store-wide settings. If it's not blank, we'll use what's specified there, right? And then the destination it goes to, and that can be any URL that you want, even off the site if you wanted to. Like, do you want to buy this on Amazon? And then could take them to Amazon if you wanted to. Of course, you would never do that, but in theory you could. But you could have this be a collection, a product, a page, whatever you want. Most of the time you're going to use collections, right? So the nice thing about that is for every product, we can specify what collection it goes to and what we upsell to. So for Thanksgiving, which most of these products aren't gifts, right? The cross-sell then is we add to cart, and the message is, do you want to see more Thanksgiving items? So that's that product level meta field. And when I say yes, it's going to take me to the Thanksgiving collection page. So that's that product level destination page that we're going to. So let's just show you what that looks like here. If I edit this product, scroll down to the bottom to where the meta fields are, you can see here it says, do you want more Thanksgiving items? And it's taking us to the Thanksgiving collection. So that's where we can be, kind of sophisticated on what we're doing there. And you know how we did this already. Let's just go to candles, or let's just go to accessories, hopefully. Let's add this product to the cart. Yes, I want to go to gift wrapping. So on this level, for the gift wrapping, what we've done is we've defined them. Let's go into this product here. Edit the product. So we're going to go down and look at the meta field at the bottom of the page. And you can see its message is, do you want to add a greeting card? So after they've added gift wrapping, they can add a card. And we take them to the greeting card options collection. So if I add this to the cart, we'll get the, do you want to add a greeting card? Yes, please. And then it takes you to the greeting cards. So while we're on these pages, I'm going to show you this, which you've seen before, right? So the customer can type a message. Dear Molly, and you can even put like a return on here. I don't think the returns carry through though. I hope you enjoy your new website. Scott. Now if I add this to cart, see, this card shouldn't have a option here. So what I'm going to do before I get out of this, I'm going to edit the product. So this is the gift card. Now all I have to do on its meta field is delete the destination. I could leave this text in if I wanted to, but I'm also going to delete that. So if I save that, go back here, refresh the page. Hopefully the servers have caught up with us. Put in my message again. Hit add to cart. And now I don't get the pop-up, right? But now you get a message. The customer gets a message that here's their message. Yeah, and it doesn't remember line breaks, unfortunately. The customer gets a message that, their message is going to be, it's been stored. And you're going to get this as a line item property so when you're fulfilling. Now, if I go to checkout, you'll see the customer will also see as the product list will show up here in a second over to the right, that line item property of the message will show up there. So the customer gets a reminder that, hey, there it is right there. Um, so that's how that one works. So if we go back to our linear shopping experiences app, which is how we started this thread of our conversation, we also have this meta fields tab right here. And if you click edit product meta fields, what it's going to do, it's going to open up all of your products in this bulk editing view with that field for cross sell. I'm also going to add, so this to see that, hey, there's a cross sell destination listed, right? So I'm also going to add, so I clicked over here on columns, scroll down to the meta fields and add the cross sell message so you can see those also. So here you can see what products have a linear shopping experience. The modal will pop up and which ones don't. So here we can see this birthday card doesn't have one, which is good. We don't want it to, right? So this is how you can, at the store level, see what's going on for all your products. But you also know that you can do that at the product level too. All right. That, I think, explains the linear shopping experiences app. The other app we've got in here is Judge Me Product Reviews. We're not showing any reviews right now, but it is collecting them. So if we go in here, and none of them come in yet, but because the store is pretty new, but you can see here under request status, I can speak. This is the queue of the emails it's going to send out. So on the 28th of November, it's going to send out an email because the product was fulfilled on the 14th of November, and the setting is wait 2 weeks before you start soliciting emails. And you can see your older ones. This one was skipped because no customer email was found, so they probably checked out with a phone number, which is totally fine. Because let them do what they want to do. But this way, you can see that requests are going out and all that good stuff. So, and they'll start coming. You'll start getting reviews, and then we'll worry about how we display those in your store later on. So let's close that. So that's the apps that you should probably look at. You've got more apps in your store, but you're not going to be using them that often in managing the store like we're talking about. Your order printer, you're going to do that when you're fulfilling your orders. ShipStation just integrates to your ShipStation and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go back to the front end and let us go to a product page, any old product page. So we're showing on your products, if it's got, I think it's less than 10 items, we show that to create that sense of urgency. The product description, we've got it below the product. There's not a lot for your products. Oh, the other thing is it's accordion for shipping returns. So this content is in your shipping policy. And you'll notice that this here, that text, is the same as this text, right? And if we go and check out, it's also the same as this text. And those are all stored here under settings, and then down at the bottom, policies. So there's that refund policy. So if you edit it here, it'll change what's being displayed in those 3 different places. I just paused for a second to sneeze, and that was a loud one, so good thing I did there. I just saved your ears. So if you ever wanted to edit the content that shows up in those accordions on all of your product pages, which is the shipping and returns one, those are done in the settings policies. But there's not a lot of complexity to your product pages right now, so it's pretty easy to understand how this is all built out. the next thing is when I go to the cart, we've got this upsell going on here. So I'll show you how that works. I'm going to go into online store, click on that customize button when it shows up over here, right there. And I want to see if I've got a product in my cart. I don't yet, so I'm going to add a product to my cart. Sometimes you got to click twice in this customized thing to have an action happen. Add that to the cart, and there we go. So it's in the cart. And you can see this element here. So that is this cart simple cross-sell element. You also see there's another element up here called cart message, which is turned off right now. So let's talk about the cart message one first. Let's turn that on. Instead of saying we're on vacation, it could say, get ready for the holidays. And you could have something that says, you know, come back on Black Friday. I'm not going to keep writing here, blah, 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 right? So it's just a message. You saw the one I had there a second ago was the holiday one, right? Where, hey, we're gone for the holidays kind of thing. So whatever you put there shows up in your cart to everybody. And that's just a nice way. You don't have to use it, right? And people used it a lot like during COVID. Like, hey, we're open during COVID, we're shipping, or we're not, those kind of things. So you can put whatever message you want there. And let me just refresh that and go back to the placeholder one I had for the holidays because I don't want to put blah, blah, blah and show it on the front end. So back to this here, right? The message is, we're on vacation, orders placed now will ship out once we return. So that's what we had when you were on vacation, I think. I put that in there, even though we hadn't put the site live yet. So if I save that, go back out to the front end, that message will show up in the cart. So it's a nice way to let people know what's going on. Like, hey, we're gone for the holidays. We'll be back on January 5th. So any order you place now, we'll fulfill it when we get back on January 5th, right? So it's just a nice little tool you have to leave a message. Now our cross-sell one, this one's a little more complex. Let's show you how it works on the front end here. So, and now that we've saved that, this should go away. Did we save it? Not yet. So now we go here. It's gone now. That message is gone. But down at the bottom, we've got this cross-sell. And the first, it says, light up holiday necklace, choose style. So it takes me to the product page. I can choose Christmas lights or Christmas trees, right? Add it to the cart. And you'll notice now that the product's in the cart, it's not going to promote that down at the bottom. Instead, it promotes the next product on the list. You're going to have up to 3 in your list. So on this one here, the button says add to cart. So there's no choices for me to make on the product page. There's no variants, is what they're called in Shopify. So if there's no variance in that product, this little section is automatically going to add the product to the cart. If there are variants, it's going to take you to the product page. So there you can see it just added it directly. And we got the third item of the Jingle Bell Singing Christmas Tree, right? There's no options to pick there. So if I add it to cart, it's going to add it to the cart. Now, the cool thing is, so there's no promotion showing up now, right? We can have up to 3. All 3 have been added to the cart. But if I remove one from the cart and refresh the page, you'll notice that it shows back up again. So the section is smart enough to know what you've got in your cart and what you don't, and if it matches or not, and will show promotions or not. So let's show you how we build that out. So under the Cart Simple Cross-Sell section on the cart page, you can see that we can turn it on or off, globally for all users. We got some styling elements, and then you can pick the products that you want. So at the end of the holidays, you don't want to be promoting light up necklaces anymore. You can change your product and find whatever you want, by searching for it and put that in there. And see the checkbox here for show product title, that actually, you can see the bold product title went away there and it shows up again. But, this text here, that's copy that I wrote and threw in here. I think I just copied it from your product description and I threw in the only $12. But you're gonna have to update that content. And then the choose style. Remember, I said, well, this one's going to take me back to the product page. So I made the button text be choose style on this one. And on the next one, I made the button text add to cart. And on the next one after that, add to cart also, because those didn't have product options. And then you can also, underneath, put more copy if you wanted to. And that goes full width of that element you'll see here. So that might be, like the small print kind of thing. But I'm just going to remove that for now. So, and you don't have to have all three products, right? You could be promoting just one if you want to. So if we removed one of these, it just wouldn't show anything for it. So you don't have to have three, although you've got enough products in your store, you can do three. And I like to make these promotions sort of like, gum at the cash register. I actually looked for your cheapest Christmas products that I thought would be applicable to the most amount of people. I wouldn't put in here like a $50, $80 product. I'd keep them as cheap as you possibly can with as broad as appeal as you possibly can. At least that's what I would do, right? So that's where those elements get done. It's in theme customization. Go to the cart page, and you can go in there and adjust them when Christmas is done. And you also already know that when Thanksgiving's done, right, the way you're going to edit that is, well, I say you already know that. I assume you do. I assume you've edited the nav menu, but you might not have. So if we go to navigation, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, remember I said before we're using this main navigation. I'm going to take this main menu and just call it old menu, no longer in use. So we're not confused by it. When I go back here, for this one, let's do this. Z, old menu, because I think they have them in alphabetical order. Save, go back. Yeah, let's do that. Unfortunately, I can't delete those two. So now here, right, when Thanksgiving's over, so on Black Friday or the day before, whenever you want, right, you're going to go in here and under main navigation, all you're going to do is delete the Thanksgiving item with that button right there. And then if you want to put in New Year's, I wouldn't do that yet, on Black Friday, but whenever you want to do New Year's, you'll just go down and add menu item, and you'll put in New Year's and find the link for the New Year's. And then you would save that, and that'll update this menu up here. So you're probably going to, fairly regularly be switching out or updating your menu because of holidays, right? So now let's talk about your holiday page, your occasions. So these pages here, right, I think the way we did this is with tags. If I look at the edit the collection, the definition for that is, anything with a product tag of Christmas, product title contains Christmas, or product title contains ornament. But on this occasions page, you've got upcoming holidays. So the events, we're just showing these three here events. You may add more in the future, like retirement or whatever, right? We don't have birthday. We don't have a birthday page. And with your party favors, I would think birthday would be important. Why do we not have birthday? Let me just check and see if there's a birthday collection. So there's a birthday collection. It is not a defined collection, so it's an old collection. So let me know if you want a birthday collection. I would think you do, especially with party favors and stuff like that. We don't have one right now. Happy to make one. Let me know if you want a birthday collection. But the point I was making is we got events here, and they're showing up in this order. And then we've got all holidays, and they're shown up in calendar order, start with New Year's all the way to the end of the year of Hanukkah. Um, and the upcoming events, right, these are going to have to be manually updated, right? And the way you do that is you go into, so on this occasions page, right, you can just you can hit, I showed you how to edit, how to use the edit link a couple times, like in collections, but you can also customize. So it'll open that page up inside of theme customization, saving you a couple steps. So now this section here, this collection list, right? You've got each one of these blocks, they're called, underneath a section, these are blocks. So when Thanksgiving's over, you could just do that. Oh, you know what we're going to do? So once again, I'm going to put this on pause, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of these to this collection list, and then you can just turn them on and off throughout the year. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and this looks exactly the same way it did a second ago, but what I did is this collection list up at the top, right? You can see how they're all crossed out on the I. That means they're turned off, right? But they're there. So Valentine's is there. It's just hidden, right? So the nice thing about this is, let's say it's not Halloween yet, so it's, in the middle of October. We could turn Halloween on and, turn New Year's off if we wanted to because it's too early or whatever. So you could easily turn them on or off now because they're all there. You don't have to add them and remove them every time. Now, what you are going to have to do, so, the calendar order is this way. So when Halloween's over, which it now is, we turn it off. We turn on New Year's. Well, New Year's is at the front of the list. So you are going to have to move from the top and bottom, around New Year's time to get them in the order you want to. But let's say, it's now, Christmas is past and Hanukkah's past, Thanksgiving, you got to move New Year's back to the top to get it in front of Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. But this, I like this. This is going to be easier for you to manage this one because as I was saying, is you're going to have to come in, on a regular basis and say, all right, Thanksgiving's over. I got to get rid of it from the main nav, and I got to get rid of it from the occasions page. Okay. So that'll be, if I was you, I would, come up with, figure out the dates ahead of time you're going to do those sort of things. And the way I do it is I actually literally put it in my calendar as an event. Like on, Black Friday, I'll have a calendar event that says remove Thanksgiving from, merchandising or something like that. But that's because I always forget things unless I write them down. So that's this page here and how you're going to have to manage that. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that we need to talk about. I don't think there is. I think we've covered most of it. I'm just going to go back in the back end and, we talked about products, we talked about collections, online store, we talked about navigation. We're not doing any blog posts, so there's nothing there. We've talked about the apps. Yeah, I think we've covered everything, but if I haven't, let me know, and I can record, more tutorials on how to do certain things if you have questions on them. But I think that should cover most of the stuff. And like I said, Shopify's got a lot of great documentation, and so does an Out of the Sandbox, your theme provider. And that just made me think of one last thing. I don't think, we're not doing color swatches in your store. I was going to show you how to update those, but we're not doing those, so it doesn't matter. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. Thanks.